Welcome back, SGF Nation. It's your boy on day 5 of Disco Elysium, and we're continuing on with the investigation as we have been doing. Last time, we discovered something about the bullet, but Kim was not here. We need to share our discovery with him. That should be the first thing that we're doing. Kim. Good morning.
Yes.
Let's see. Well, doesn't seem like the option for the bullet is here, but I mean, there are some options we haven't used yet here.
No response. He just arches his brow.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. There was heavy drinking involved, but I mean, this is really a conversation for the start of the game.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
It's difficult.
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
What should I concentrate on?
Try work. The case at hand. It can work miracles.
But what's wrong with personal affairs?
Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Man, the idea that Harry supervises people is a little frightening. Fine, we'll let it be.
Focus on other people's troubles, not your own. That is a relief.
Your heart beats twice like a fist. The serotonin deficiency makes your teeth clench.
No, let's not be sarcastic with Kim. He's trying to help.
The lieutenant glances at his electronic wristwatch.
All right, well, forget it.
A moment passes. The lieutenant glances at the sports watch on his wrist.
I guess there was a roll that we failed at some point. That's a logic check, and our logic is low even if we, unlock this one. Hold on. If we look at the bullet again, let's see.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp.
There we go. I think I know where this came from as we dangle the bag thoughtfully.
Okay. And?
The shot probably came from a Belle McGrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez or anywhere in Raphael, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, I think when we were trying to shoot down the body, I think it was mentioned that Kim's gun held 1 bullet and it had to be loaded through the muzzle. I think I remember that.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Well, it makes you consider every shot. I like that.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier.
Yeah, imagine that. That'd be monstrous. The good thing we are an enlightened people around here.
But back to the investigation.
Back to the investigation. Let's get back to that. Could the victim have been mixed up with some foreign guerrilla fighters? Well, I think that we have basically established that.
Let's find out. Next step, finding the gun itself.
All right. So it's not the antique gun, of course, that we're holding. We have to find the gun this was actually shot from, and we don't know where that is. Oh, yes. A couple other things we could interact with. It was mentioned to me that maybe I should actually look at this letter that Evrart wants me to get signatures on. I got one person's signature, but the other one, the old woman, she was more thorough and did not like what she saw. Let's see what this has to say.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope, a 12 to 40 month construction period, and the zoning plan in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's signature and an empty line waiting for a signee.
12 to 40 month? That's quite a range, isn't it? You probably could, narrow that down just a little. It's going to be either a year or 3.5 years. Who can say? That's low. Let's see if we can increase our logic. See, logic is already +2 because of the hat. The jacket boosts. So we're on +3 logic. Ahem. The shirt, we're on +4 logic. That's negative. Oh, these glasses, +5 logic. The hat, oh, wait, the hat we're already wearing is +2 to logic. So the conical hat is only +1. So never mind that.
You take the legal documents out of the... A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's... There is no loophole. The simple truth is, the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
That sounds, delightful. What are the ramifications of this?
Once the construction starts, it will probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
Wait. Are we trying to say that maybe Everard has an ulterior motive here? Is this some kind of real estate scheme? Look, Kim, these people are going to have to move away because of the noise.
Of course, I should have seen it.
The lieutenant frowns as he reads over the document again.
Everard probably has eyes on us, but if the second signature were to be somehow wrong...
He won't say it outright, but he's suggesting forgery.
You're suggesting...
Forgery, yes. It would render the document invalid.
Well, I am surprised for Kim to suggest this, but considering that maybe this little petition is not exactly what we thought it was, maybe we can just, let Everard know that maybe he just can't do whatever he wants here in Martinez. Let's do this.
It's not the sort of act I would normally encourage, but under the circumstances, if done discreetly, it may be the only way to save what's left of the village.
Or you could try to trick Everard. Get someone random to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business here will already be concluded.
Everard's people could be watching you here. So this is suggesting that I forge it myself. So if I got somewhere where Everard's people would not be watching me, it would go up by quite a bit. Interfacing is 6. It's not bad. I'm sure we could put clothes on to make that better. So that's a possibility. Okay, so we could do, I don't know if there's a reason to do it ourselves or to find someone else to do it. Not sure what the difference. Also, there's the question of what happens if we fail that check? It's a red check. What happens if I try to forge it and I fail? I don't know if I want to do if I want to do that. There's also something else that we could try to do while we're thinking about the letter. Something else that we've had for a while, but we haven't really. Well, we have read the Book of Cockatoos, of course. I think it's probably, yeah, the ledger. We haven't actually tried to read the case files.
It's the ledger you found. Oh, and the cool piece of toilet paper is stuck to the back.
Logic is very high. Okay, let's try to read these case files.
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the Next World Mural.
I see why they give these cases titles, unofficial titles, along with the official number. Wait, HDB 41, weren't those Officer Precinct?
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
And HDB...
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Harrier Dubois, HDB.
I think what you meant to say was RAC, Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
No, the alphanumeric begins with HDB.
Good. How long will it take to read one of these Raphael stamped cases?
Fine. It takes about half an hour for you to piece one together. Mr. Raphael, which one do you want?
There's a few. Well, might as well go in order. The Next World Mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case."
All right, let's remove it.
The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the belles lettres have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World Mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Wait, do I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Bummer. Let's read on.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3.
Oh, so there was some controversy about whether or not this should be taken down.
The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
I don't know why we're given a choice since this has already happened. But I mean, our Raphael here is quite the revolutionary. So he probably would want it. I mean, maybe Harry would not have wanted to keep it, but Raphael probably would have.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class. The middle class are not to be blamed, it's human nature. I like it, but can't we wreak havoc on other nations instead? I must have voted an even possible lobby to remove the thing because I don't believe in that rubbish one bit. Well, all that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class.
In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, and agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next?
Okay. The unsolvable case. What a name.
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable.
10 years, huh? That is a cold case.
You were so drunk, you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high.
That seems likely.
Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration.
Okay.
The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Well, couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is.
They're not there by accident. They choose to be there.
Can you keep yourself off the streets?
Well, no, but I mean, that is my job, though. I'll proceed.
Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years.
So this isn't an unsolvable case, it's just one where there just is no solution to getting them to stop doing this.
It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Wasn't Leslie the one flashing his junk?
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
I see that we had the party eyes before we ever came to Martinez, huh?
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke.
Well, I guess that is the reason why that compartment is so hard to open.
Kill them. They broke it.
That's a little extreme, Half-Light.
He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps, The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore.
Well, it sounds like maybe we solved the unsolvable case.
Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end.
That was kind of a downer of a case. But I guess it was sort of the thing that everyone just kind of ignored because of the past decade of Leslie and Burke flashing dicks and smashing stuff. Eventually, you're just gonna, probably gonna ignore anything that solves that problem.
Does that sound like a Raphael something Costo to you, sir?
I mean, that's my name, so yes.
Fine then. You've earned it.
Oh, a new thought. The square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But...
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. Toxicology showed the entry wound was laced with an incredibly potent psychoactive substance called HUV4-nil. No street name.
a sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day.
Oh, one day we're going to find out the rest of that case? Because that is a very curious thing, but we don't have the rest of it. Where could they have gone? Well, okay, let's start the next one. The couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They looked really cool, like a rock band.
Yes, as you said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it, too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, because they felt it's intellectual.
It'd be really hard to carry around a couch with you like that. I mean, if it's like a full-size sofa, how would you even do this?
Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Not a glorious case, but at least we solved it. But did we ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
I like that we wrote that down in our notes. Okay, let's find out what the murder at the hookah parlor is all about.
Murder. Tum-tum-tum at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
All right. I guess we're not going to know about Joseph Mills and his partner, J.M. They both have the same initials, which seems weird. Let's talk about the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills.
But Captain, this is a real nut twister.
Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
Well, maybe it's good that he has something to talk about instead of the other things. Go on.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Can you get high off it?
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge.
All right, well, we only have one assumption, and that is that he sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table, and died.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
And what was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together.
Okay, so the moral of that story is that Joseph Mills was really bad at his job. I can revisit this.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
And we can put the ledger away. All right, well, we got a couple of thoughts while we were doing that. Why can't I click on that? Oh, there we go.
Arnold Van Eck. Okay, so Egghead is clearly not Van Eyck in disguise. Van Eyck is an Oranese disc jockey, but those people get around, especially in Revachol, in the clubs on Boogie Street. Perhaps he stayed here for a short stint and discarded part of the song he was working on, just threw it away. And then it ended up in the hawthorn tree. But why? Did he think it was retrograde? It wasn't. Perhaps he caught a glimpse of the future and did not want for it to arrive just yet. Perhaps the city whispered the top line to him, and he was frightened by it.
Okay, all Motorix white checks unlocked. Reveals Arnold Van Eck gig posters. Okay, there are posters of him in the world, and if we have the skill, they will be revealed to us, I guess. So this is similar to the Contact Mike one, where I think it unlocked, physique, white checks. This is Motorix. And that there are some Motorix checks we need to redo, so that is good. But if this is like Contact Mike, I guess that means we can discard this thought when we have something else we want to learn.
Wasteland of reality. Congrats, you're sober. It will take a while for your body to remember how to metabolize anything that isn't sugar from alcohol. So you're going to be pretty ravenous soon. Eat plenty. You can expect your coordination and balance to improve in a couple of weeks. In 2 months, you might start sleeping like a normal person. Full recovery will take years though. It'll be depressing, and it'll be boring. Don't expect any further rewards or hand claps. This is how normal people are all the time.
Oh, right. The sobriety thought. That one took so long to learn. I forgot that we were doing that. That's true. We were going sober, weren't we? Interesting thing. The results of this: -1 physical instrument because of insomnia, -1 inland empire because sober, -1 suggestion because boring, but +1 psyche, return to the self. Does that mean we get +1 on every psyche thing? No positive effects from alcohol. Unfortunate. And we got this, Detective Cousteau. Temporary research bonus, -2 conceptualization, an idiotic idea, research time 2 hours, 30 minutes. Detective Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. When you say it, it feels like you're taking a bite of lemon meringue while sitting on the terrace of a seaside cafe on a cool summer day in Sur-le-Clef. It's everything you're not. You haven't created many things during your stay in Martinez, but you've created this, a fancy, sophisticated name that makes you sound intelligent and that no one seems to acknowledge. Don't you feel like you deserve a reward for something, coming up with something so special? What would that reward be? -2 conceptualization while we're learning that, but our conceptualization is so low anyway, we never pass any conceptualization checks. Not sure what the prize would be. I mean, the way it describes it, how we came up with an idea, it sounds like maybe if we learn it, we boost conceptualization. I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what the description kind of makes it sound like. Let's take a look at the stats. So I guess we got a +1 to psyche in general, is what it sounded like. Okay, but something that's important right now is that since the first thought unlocked all white motoric checks, when there is something we've been meaning to do, and also I should mention that during this whole time that we've been reading those case files, I have been shining my flashlight in Kim's face. So we've been doing that. Okay, this is updated. Forge the signatures, but somewhere private where you feel safe enough to sleep, or find someone to sign the document instead of the intended signees. So we could do either one of those. There's something else that we could do right away. We can put that on the back burner. There's something else that we can do right away. Let's see. You know, I did it like once, and honestly, I don't remember how to fast travel. I went to the map and clicked on something, and then I fast traveled, and I don't know how to do it again because I don't remember doing anything special. I mean, I know that my observation skills sometimes I don't pass perception rolls in real life. Sometimes I don't see anything on the screen that mentions how to do it. I just remember clicking on the map and it's just not happening. Well, okay. There are certainly many things we could do, but I'm just going to run to what I have on my mind right now. Which is over, back on the other side of town. Oh, what's that? A faint smell of soldering, melted insulation, nylon and ozone. The low rumble of a bass beat, your heart repeats it. That's right. We have music in our soul. Nope. What was that? Below the grime, a dark neon poster reads, Van Eyck, totally transcendent. Okay, so since we have the Van Eyck thought, we are noticing posters.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
All right, this is available now. It's very high. Could we make it any higher? I have my perception is -1 on the clothes because I have my clothes for logic. Could I make it even higher? Do I have clothes for that? Actually, the only clothes that build up perception are gloves, right? No, that's interfacing. Interfacing does that. It's glasses that might do the perception. Yeah. Boots. Sorry. The boots I'm going to wear are going to enable me to notice something strange about this Eternite. The boots are going to do that. I'm sorry. The boots. All right, so I don't... Did I have anything else? Well, maybe not. Kind of thought that one of the glasses did it, but these glasses take away from perception. But still, at least we, let's see, perception is now at 8. I mean, it should be good enough. Should be good enough.
Conspicuous pile.
97%. Let's notice the shit out of this.
Because it's nice.
Wow.
Well-laid palettes. Easy on the eyes.
So easy on the eyes.
It reveals no secrets at this time.
We are never going to notice whatever is wrong with it. We're never going to notice it. It's never happening. Hold on. Let me put my encyclopedia clothes back on so we can pass those checks and keep getting money and experience. Gotta get my smart clothes on. Hold on. Just gotta find my smart clothes. My perception clothes did not work out. All right. Encyclopedia's +2. I have a 5. That's good. Kuno. Speaking of Kuno, I need to buy cigarettes. Let's head to the Frit. One day we'll notice something wrong with that Eternite.
A colourful display of...
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health.
290. Yeah, give me some cigs.
Here you go, mister.
Thank you. I don't suppose you have anything new to say?
Is this about the questions again?
No, it doesn't seem so. All right. I just needed to have those cigarettes on me, so tonight when Kim goes to bed, I will bribe Kuno with cigarettes. That's what it's come to. Yeah, I don't... What am I... Let me just take a look at my clothes again. What does that jacket do? +1 logic, +1 logic. I just want to... I forget if we've tried this. Does this guy notice if I'm wearing the armor? Hey, I'm wearing your friend's armor? Does that mean anything to you?
To work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Doesn't seem like he notices I'm wearing his friend's armor.
What's it to you? Am I a suspect?
Not it.
Rhymes.
It's not...
The man has turned his attention elsewhere. He shakes his fist slowly while observing you from the corner of his eye.
It doesn't seem like we've had anything new with him, even though we suspect he's one of the mercenaries. Despite that, it doesn't seem like anything's really happening. I guess I can't show him like the photo of his dead friend. Like, we have that. Where there yeah, the photo of tattoos.
An intricate web of it still kind of looks like.
Yeah, we don't have any new options with this. All right, well, so something up here. Let's take a look at it. I didn't catch the graffito earlier. Van Eck Overdrive, it says. Glad I'm noticing these things now. And Manana. We have to talk with Manana because we smell the communism on him. That's correct. Let's see what he has to say.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Listen, brother. There's something important I need to talk to you about.
What's that, Boya?
He tilts his head slightly.
Now's your chance. Remember, communists are notoriously skittish, so it's best to insinuate your way in.
Insinuating, you say? I'm looking for some people who know how to really grind the sausage, if you know what I mean. I don't even know what I mean. I'm investigating a peculiar smell, one with revolutionary implications. I'm looking for a secret cabal of mole people. None of these sound good. I don't think any of these sound good. Hey, Manana, what do you know about grinding a sausage?
Have you tried a butcher shop?
He looks at you with perfect equanimity. I'm looking for a secret cabal of mole people.
You might have to look elsewhere for help with that.
He scratches his chin.
Okay, maybe it's time to abandon the subtle approach.
I'm investigating a peculiar smell, one with revolutionary implications.
Could be coming from one of the jam lorries. Cargo's been sitting out for a while.
He sniffs the air and looks toward the roundabout.
Okay, maybe it's time to abandon the subtle approach.
Manana, I'm looking for communists. You know any?
Ah, now I see. Can't say I'm surprised. You seem to take your communism seriously. Not a bad thing, mind you. It's good for a man to take time to think about the whole socio-political world picture.
Oh, he certainly likes to take his time with things, especially when politics are at issue.
I mean, this is very important, Kim. I need to know where I fit in the socio-political world picture.
So you've given up copying and now you're hunting comunistas. Care to say why?
I'm not hunting communists. I'm trying to get organized by them.
Oh, I see.
He gives you an exaggerated wink.
I wish I could help. Unfortunately, I don't know many comunistas.
But I thought you union guys are all communists.
Some are, some aren't. It's a big institution, room for all kinds. Comunistas, feminist supremacists, even an anti-institutional boyadero.
It's a big tent in the union. There is warmth in his voice when he talks about the union. Whatever his personal politics, this is his home.
All right, so if he isn't personally a communist, he's definitely hanging out with them.
Ah, but you know, I did meet a genuine ideologo a few months ago. Perhaps he is your guy.
What is an ideologo?
You know, a guy with a theory. Someone who likes to pit his theory against other theories in deadly theory combat.
How did you meet him?
It was late one night as I was leaving the arbor. He was waiting on the corner in a bright white jacket. Classic Saramirizian style. He asked me for a light. We shared cigarettes. Then he asked me if I ever thought about getting into some of the extra physical branches of communism.
See, all this political chit-chat is just an excuse to rip tar with strangers. Let's say we just skip right to the good part then.
I mean, there are probably some people for whom that is true. What does that mean, the extra physical branches of communism?
No idea. I took it to mean he was asking me to join some sort of underground cell. A very old school organizing technique. The sort of thing comunistas used to do before the revolution.
What did you tell him?
The same thing I always tell people who try to press some claim on me. I said, every boyadero rides alone.
Oh, mañana is a boyadero. We learned about those from that one truck driver earlier. How do I find this guy?
I couldn't tell you. Once I declined his offer, we finished our cigarettes and he disappeared back into the night. Just before he melted into the shadows, he turned to me and said, "Remember Dobrava and Abadanais." And then he was gone.
What are Dobrava and Abadanais?
I don't know. Guess not everyone remembers.
A tight half-smile crosses his face. What do you think it means?
Been wondering about that myself. Some comunista inside talk could be. Not meant for the wider public. They love that kind of thing. You'd have to ask someone who knows this ideologo personally. I have to say, though, it sounds like you found yourselves a proper hunter.
All right, new task.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
Well, good talking to you. Gotta run. All right, let's have a look at that. Get yourself organized. Roam the streets to sniff out some comrades. Find out more about this ideologo that Manana mentioned. How would we find out more about him? I doubt Scab Leader knows about him. No, nothing new there. Hey, racist lorry driver, do you know about communists?
Looking for something odd?
No, it doesn't seem so. All right. So we have to think about who else could we talk to who might know about the communists. Oh, actually, while we're here, we've been running back and forth with people and talking to them. There is one person that we talked to earlier who is out of the way, and we haven't talked to her since then, which would be the dice maker. She's sitting up in her tower, and we never run by her because she's isolated. So we might as well, since we're here, go up to her and see if there's anything new on deck with her. All right. What's up?
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Maybe, but are there any more questions we can ask?
I'm listening.
Doesn't seem so.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Okay, we do have some money. Like last time we were here, we did not have much money, and we were still paying Gart for rent. We have some money to spend now, though.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Do you know the Mural Untethered setting, which is the that RPG that we were reading about? There's the cursed dice, the most extraordinary die. I'm sorry, I don't know what die I want. I want a normal die, very regular. Need something to help with my work. More time to think about it. Well, why don't we ask about them? I don't think we have to buy them if we just ask about them.
Ah, yes. Fortress accident. It's too bad they never finished their game.
Yeah, we found out they never finished it because of a 2mm hole in reality in the church on the other side of town. Strangest thing.
The Mural Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motifs of ice and death. And loss, of course.
The standard role-playing die uses plants? I was expecting numbers.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours.
What's a standard role-playing die?
It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results.
Why do you need to cast it in resin?
Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect.
Let's read about the other options.
Maybe you have some other ideas for dice?
So I guess you can actually buy each of these dice? That could be a problem because I don't know which one if there's a reason to go with one or another. Let's talk about cursed dice.
What do you mean by cursed?
As cursed as my life.
Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die.
Maybe I need to think about that first.
Maybe you have some other ideas for dice?
Tell me about your most extraordinary die.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
We'll think about that.
Alright, maybe some other die then?
I don't actually know what kind of die I want.
How about an amber die?
A poor man's gold?
Who told you amber was cheap? It's beautiful, really, and has been treasured since the ancient times. For 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go of their past.
That does seem appropriate for us, but let's think about it.
Maybe you have some other ideas for dice?
What about a very normal die? Very regular.
A normal die? I'm a novelty dice maker. I don't make normal dice.
What do you do then?
Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Octahedrons, trapezohedrons, dodecahedrons. But also barrel dice and teetotum bowls. Come on now. Be a little creative.
I'm looking for something to help with my work.
I think I have just the right one for you.
She opens the top drawer of her work desk and takes something out. 2 polyhedrons, red and blue, are cradled in her palm.
Police colors.
Oh, because I'm a police officer, right? Thanks, Esprit de Corps. You don't talk too much, but on occasion you do.
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best. Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
Even money on that.
Mr. Smooth moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
And we wink at the dice maker.
Oh, what are the odds?
58%.
One is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. I believe these dice are your lucky charm, officer.
She winked back at you. Can you believe it? You truly are Mr. Smooth Move.
Hell yes.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else?
Okay, so we can order other dice. Let's take a look at what we have now.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
Wait, there are capo types?
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Well, I assume you're talking to me because we made the smooth move? So I'm thinking I'm the superstar cop.
That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the...
I gotta be a cool cop.
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we?
I don't think I've been especially sorry. I don't...
Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
I don't think I agree. I'm Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. Won't the other capo types be jealous?
What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry.
Fucking, they should be sorry.
Yes. Impotent rage and lamentation. Let's wrap it up.
I don't think I'm a sorry cop is the thing.
No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
Well, if you think so, suggestion, I guess I'm open to anything.
Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million. That won't happen.
I don't think I've been especially sorry throughout this mystery. I don't know about that. Let's see. Rigorous self-critique, temporary research bonus, -1 authority, embarrassment to the party. You're one sorry piece of shit, a cop penitent, a flagellant cop monk. This is not the right line of work for you. You should be groveling at the feet of a feudal lord, providing lurid evidence against yourself at a Mazovian show trial, or ripping the flesh from your back with a cat of nine tails. Whatever made you this way, you can be damn sure it was your own fault. Do it. Really criticize yourself. Who knows? You might uncover something of importance from your guilt-ridden past. Interesting how two thoughts that we have right now, or we could absorb, are rigorous self-critique and Detective Cousteau, which seem like the complete opposites. Let's take a look at the dice. There we go. These two 20-sided dice have the colors of a police alarm, bloodstone for red and lapis lazuli for blue. If you roll them and squint your eyes, it looks like you're arriving on the scene, and it's raining. Note, look at the map tab in journal to see which white checks have opened. Oh? Did that reopen some white checks? I mean, I'm not actually sure which ones were unavailable before right now. Or is it the ones with the, or is it those? Or do these have a mark just because I have never looked at them before? I'm not sure. Huh, is that what dice do, or do the different dice do different things? There's a bunch of different dice we could buy. Well, maybe we could have her start working on one.
Oh, it's you again. Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
I did like the sound of the amber dice.
How about an amber die? Who told you amber was? For 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go of their past.
That sounds like me.
I had a feeling.
She smiles, but says nothing more. It's a deal.
Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
No, that's it for right now. Alright, so 1943 is when it'll be done. And we'll owe her 7. So we should remember that. It didn't take the money immediately, so we will owe her when we get there. Because, of course, we are connected to the bookstore, and there are things to buy here as well. Does Plaisance have anything new to say?
Hello again, esteemed officer.
Doesn't seem so.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types.
Right. And people have said that it might be fun to play some suzerainty.
Wonderful choice, sir. A wholesome family game.
It's a wholesome family game. And we do like things that are wholesome, don't we? Board game Suzerainty. A civilization building board game where you get to choose a nation and set off to colonize and exploit other cultures. A star-shaped note on the box proclaims the game now includes a completely new genocide option. Oh, Suzerainty, now with funky mode. Wonderful.
In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game, Suzerainty. It's snugly wrapped in a skin of plastic. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grinning laborers loading goods onto a ship, while a richly dressed administrator oversees their work. The exact location and time period are left deliberately vague. but it's clearly meant to represent the economic relationship between the Revacholian suzerainty and its many vassals.
Shake the box.
The box has a nice heft to it. You hear the rattle of individual wooden tokens and feel their weight shifting back and forth. What treasures wait in store for you?
Let's find out.
Even before you open it, you can tell that this will be a meaty game of grand strategy and complex player interactions.
Remove the plastic wrap.
The plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bodice in a tawdry historical romance.
I mean, I guess there is a certain amount of eroticism to unboxing a new product, but let's open the box.
There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside, you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components. Savor that new board game smell. A mix of wood, paper, and ink, all wrapped in the sweet must of cardboard.
Wow, we got some morale back because of the smell of the game. Read the rulebook.
Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy for the whole family. The rulebook is sumptuously illustrated and thick as a Gradian novel.
Economic strategy, more like rapacious plunder and exploitation.
The colorful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples, and harvesting a strange magenta-leafed plant. Everyone is smiling.
Well, we've heard of some magenta-colored cocaine. I wonder if that might be related. Let's keep reading.
The instructions are opaque at first and introduce many concepts you're not familiar with. Fortunately, there are many diagrams and examples throughout. You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator for the suzerain of Revachol. Your objective is to increase the suzerain's wealth and renown by accumulating victory points.
And how do you accumulate victory points?
That's where the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations, each one home to an economically important resource. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they've placed workers. They may then rearrange their workers, fulfill contracts for coin and bonuses, or build structures back in Revachol. As you leaf through the pages, your eye catches on a sidebar labeled Advice for Beginners.
Hey, I'm a beginner. Let's read this advice.
Remember, there are many paths to victory in suzerainty, but successful players will find one strategy and commit to it wholeheartedly. Boring, boring, boring. Tear up this rulebook and commit some old-school atrocities.
We know that Half-Light loves the genocide option. How is the winner determined?
The actual scoring system appears infinitely complex, with a series of tables and appendices required to compute each player's final victory point total. You skip that part for now.
Examine the components.
You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards with other cardboard components that will need to be punched out before you can play.
Let's pull out the cardboard pieces one by one.
Each cardboard token makes a satisfying chick as you pop it out. Soon, a neat pile of cardboard coins and counters has accumulated before you.
What? You're not going to offer to let me punch any of them out?
Oh, Kim wanted to punch some out. Let's check out the wooden tokens.
In addition to the worker and building tokens used by each player, there are also several piles of colorful resource tokens, each representing one of the game's 4 principal resources. From the Empire of Safre, orange apricot tokens. From Ilmarat, the ancestral name of Ilmara, gray marble block tokens. From the Semenine Islands, white sacks of sugar tokens. And from Supramuindi and Sarah Maritza, magenta tokens for unprocessed cocaine leaves.
Ah, yes, they are cocaine leaves.
Oh, those are nice.
The lieutenant picks up a sugar token and admires it. Oh, Kim likes the quality of the game's tokens. Let's put the components away.
You hold the open game box before you.
Hey, Kim, wanna play?
The lieutenant looks over the rulebook before he sees something that makes his eyes go wide.
Holy shit. The average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours. I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game.
Oh, I think we can set aside that kind of time. Maybe, well, not like that anyway. Let's see. Well, Kim, if I change my clothes, will that help in finding the time? That's +1 suggestion. That's -1. Yeah, we never found much that helped with suggestion. That's -1 suggestion again. So suggestion, let's see, it's a +1. Yeah, the only thing happening is from that coat.
The suzerainty box is heavy.
Yeah, 28%.
Your hands. You give it a light.
We need... Man, we need some clothes that can boost our suggestion.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Math. It's really difficult.
Oh, I found something while you were away. I thought this would fit.
Oh yeah, we can get our hat back.
Out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does.
She gives you the hat. Almost exactly like the one Dick Mullen wears on the covers.
Yes, just like the one Dick Mullen wears all the time. You'll look way more serious with that.
Absolutely.
I have to get back to my homework now.
See you around, Annette. Alright, so we can get the hat back. Okay. And that's good, because let's see. Put the hat on. And we are wearing the big glasses, right? So yeah, so Encyclopedia is +3 now. We have 6 to Encyclopedia. Alright. Suggestion. We have some low stats that really need to be buffed. That we just don't really have a whole lot to buff them with, like with our clothes. Like rhetoric is one, conceptualization is another. We just don't have much that actually to do anything with those. Message has been carved into the wall. Trans Nation, Ek Nation. We do have a point. See, Detective Cousteau, -2 conceptualization, but I want that thought. Conceptualization is at 1, so it's at 1. Let's see, so Arnold Van Eck, like I said, I believe the way this works is the same thing as Contact Mike, that it unlocked the Motorix white checks when we got it. It does let us find the posters, but I don't know if that's important. There's Hobocop. What's Shivers at? Shivers is at 7. Some kind of... We want to be a superstar, is the thing. There's the Lawjaw. The main reason that I was keeping that is because the hand-eye coordination passives are automatically succeeded, and that's pretty good. Mazovian socioeconomics. Since we're looking for communists, that could be valuable. We want to keep anti-object task force. Jamais vu we should keep. Let's see, Apricot, Chewing, let's see. But yeah, +2 perception, no debuffs. Arnold Van Eck. Maybe we could still find more posters. Maybe that's something. We want to keep Wompty Dumpty Dom Center. Fairweather, +2 hand-eye coordination. Oh yeah, this one was only against enemies in armor, which is ominous, because that means we'll be facing enemies and that they'll be wearing armor. This is really not doing anything for us for right now, but that sounds like at some point it would be good to have this. I'm hesitant to erase that one. This one's +3 to perception and -1. -1 encyclopedia, but +3 perception's really good. Wasteland of reality. It gives so -1 Inland Empire, -1 suggestion, but +1 to everything in psyche. So that means getting rid of it would keep Inland Empire and suggestion the same, but the other 4 would go down a point. I think that's what it's saying. I think maybe it's time to get rid of Hobocop. Maybe it's time to get rid of Hobocop. Maybe just like quickly look to see if there's any.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with.
Oh, we can put the white envelope in there?
In the front.
Well, we can't do that yet. There's Sandwich Man. His friend's not here. I'm curious about that, but before we do any of that, let's just look around to see if any tear shows up. Just on the way to the Freet. I actually don't know how much tear we might have on us, but I guess we should deposit it, and then we'll get rid of Hobocop. I mean, Hobocop was always just an illusion, wasn't it? We know we have a home somewhere.
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Okay, 380. It's not bad. It's not bad. All right. Goodbye, Hobocop. Now, we are no longer Hobocop. We are now Detective Cousteau. Internalize that. It'll take a little bit to internalize that. Would like to get rhetoric up. Hopefully the debuff on conceptualization. Well, we could level it up. We do have a point. We could, is there any, I mean, if we would think about, okay, let me just think about it. Is there anything else? Well, for right now, let me just think, okay, if what I want to use the point to internalize another thought. I don't want to be the sorry cop or regular law official, so I don't know if I want to internalize those two. If I wanted to buff a stat, logic, I actually have a few different clothes that buff logic, so I can always put clothes on to do that. I do have a lot of drama clothes. Drama's not really a problem. Conceptualization, I don't really have much for that, so that could be good. Viscalc, don't have much for that, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like it comes up often. The psyches, of these, the only one that really needs to be buffed is suggestion. Everything else is doing okay. Physique, yeah, we don't need to touch physique. That's okay. Motorix. Let's see. Hand-eye coordination, reaction speed, savoir-faire, composure. All kind of low, but I don't... Like, none of the white checks I can think of, I'm not really thinking about these. Mainly the ones I'm thinking of are rhetoric, conceptualization, suggestion, and rhetoric is already at its learning cap, so we would need to find, like, clothes and such to increase it any more than that. So that means either conceptualization or suggestion. I do have 2 points. I could put 1 point in each one. Or do I want to put 2 points in one of them to, like, really buff it up? That could be another way of doing it. Well, let's put 1 point in each of them. Let's just do that. Let me just check something real fast, since we do have some money. We never bought anything from the street vendor. Just want to remind myself what he might have to offer.
Everything's still cool here.
That one, yeah, that one never got... There was never a high chance of that one.
You keep coming back.
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can.
So this one's +1 composure, -1 shivers. Composure is low. Our composure is. This one's +2 half-light, -1 composure, -1 staff warfare. We really... Half-light doesn't need to be powered up. Man, can you imagine if you did a playthrough where you like powered up half-light as much as possible? You'd be like a total psychopath. The composure jacket could be good. Like, we could get... Like, sometimes you need a composure check. That could be something we would want.
The shine on these...
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask him.
Okay, so we can't find the good sunglasses because conceptualization is too low. Amphibian sports visor. It's a +1 to perception, and... You know, we do... Hey, why not? It doesn't hurt to get a little bit more perception. I mean, we really don't need it. I mean, we already have clothes that have perception. Like, that perception check we failed, that was 93%. It wasn't going to get any higher because it can't be 100%, because you can fail, you know, by getting ones. So I guess I didn't actually... Like, this wouldn't have helped for that check. Because 93 would have been the maximum that we could possibly have gotten. No way of getting more than that. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, is this thing here.
The speakers below. You should go over and ask him about...
Right. 50 for those sneakers. The sneakers +1 reaction speed, +1 hand-eye coordination, -1 encyclopedia. Don't necessarily... Those aren't really urgent things. The reaction speed and hand-eye coordination. I would be interested to know what the good sunglasses do, but we need high conceptualization to make that happen, so it doesn't seem like that's happening now. Okay. How many cigarettes do we get from one? We get 5 uses of the cigarettes, and we get +1 to intellect. So if we're going to make intellect choices, we can potentially do that. Sorry, I'm just going over things in my head. Right now I'm thinking about rhetoric, and we never did get any clothes that help with that, did we? Like, I feel like I haven't been seeing that. That's a -1 to rhetoric. For some reason... Okay, the white polo shirt was +1 rhetoric. That was -1, +1 drama, +2 drama, +1... I mean, like, one shirt that affects rhetoric. So now it's at 3. Alright, 3 is not high. But we do have a certain rhetoric check. That's been sort of, there for a little while now. Why not try it right now? I find it's unlikely that we'll get it. Oh, right. There was also... What was the check for this? What was this?
The file cabinet stands steady as ever.
That one's Volition.
Unlocked drawer slides out to greet you.
But it's locked right now. But, Volition... Volition's not doing too badly. If we get that one unlocked, then we do have a fair chance of passing it. You do remember that there's a container here that maybe we can convince to open. You remember that, right? Just to make sure. Rhetoric. +1 from base. Bonus from thoughts, -1. White polo shirt, +1. What is the percentage on this right now?
You're back before the cargo container.
Oof.
Drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
This is just never increasing. Is it even possible to get... Is it even possible to make the percentage for this one go up? Because it says that they call it impossible. So I'm wondering... What do you have to do? How many points do you have to get the percentage to this one, to get this one just to creep up just a little bit? Just creep up a little bit. Let's, we do have these cigarettes. Intellect raised.
You're back before the cargo container.
Okay, it is up to 8%.
It's not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Why don't we have the chat see if they can pump up intellect a little bit? Why don't we try doing that? Because, man, the chances of this one so low, but hey, might as well. I don't see this, our chances here increasing unless we find a bunch of clothes that power up rhetoric. 17%, that's the absolute best that we could possibly do here. Let's try it.
And, as it's always been, it's impossible to open a container with rhetoric. Maybe you're losing your mind.
Oh, wow. That was actually very close. That was a lot closer than I would have expected. Rhetoric 5, dice 5 + 4 = 9, modifiers +3. Wow, if that was just 1 point better. Well, tried to do it. Weren't able to do it. I don't think we have any reason to talk to Everart because we haven't done his thing yet. Alright, I was about to say there's no chance we're going to get that door open, but that ended up being a much closer roll than I would have expected. So maybe there is hope that we might actually be able to do that after all. But, for right now, I think we're going to save the game. And I think that we're going to take a little bit of a break as we ponder what we're doing. And honestly, the highest priority we have right now is to get Kim to play this game with us.
The suzerainty box is heavy and slightly awkward in your hands. You give it a light shake and feel the pieces shift around inside.
I mean, that's like the most important thing. Like, forget solving this murder. Forget that. We got to get Kim to play this board game with us. And don't forget to pick up the dice from the dice maker. The missing insects case, gotta talk to Kuno about that, but for that we have to wait till night falls and we can give him cigarettes. Look for Ruby. Apparently that should be a thing we do last. The jam, we have to talk to Joyce, but it seems like we don't have anything else we can talk to her about unless we can pass some checks with her. For Everart, yeah, we'll look into either forging or finding someone to sign the document. Get ourselves organized. I've had to find the ideologo, but I don't know where. We don't have no leads on that. Determine. We haven't checked either one of these three places. We probably should at some point check these possible locations. We have not checked a single one. When Kim leaves, we can talk to Class J about Sunday night. When she's collected herself, we can ask her about this. The truce with Kuno, that has to do with the cigarettes. Find the murder weapon. We have not found the working firearm. The fallen pants. Well, maybe if we become Kuno's friend, maybe he will give us a friend discount on the fallen pants. And the victim's tattoos. We have not found the person, apparently, that we can ask about the victim's tattoos. Apparently. All right. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to continue on with the investigation in Disco Elysium. No, I'm sorry, we're not continuing on with the investigation. We're continuing on with figuring out how to get Kim to play this board game with us. That's what we're trying to figure out in Disco Elysium.